Hi, my name's Kristofer Sanders. I'm the pastor and founder of Nea Ekklesia. Today, we're going to be doing a full product review of the Y55 Lectern from lecternstoreus.com as part of the missions. And if you stick with us to the end, there's going to be a nice surprise in it for you. All right, I'm really excited about the product review that we're going to do today of the Y55 Lectern from lecternstoreus.com. Nea Ekklesia is planting a church on the Space Coast, and we need a pulpit to preach the Word of God. And because we're planting a church, we have unique requirements. We need it to be mobile because we're going to be moving it a lot. We don't have our own facility yet. We need it to be lightweight for the same reason. We need it to be flexible in terms of being able to connect it to different equipment like sound equipment and presentation equipment. So we need it to be very functional for us. And then we also want it to be aesthetically pleasing. So these are kind of the requirements that we had for our mobile pulpit. And that's why we began to center in on the Y55 Lectern from Lectern Store US. So it's taken a lot of self-control to not open the packages, the boxes, to wait for the product review because we are excited about getting it. But that's what we get to do today, and so we're going to have a lot of fun. So what can you expect in the coming review? We are going to talk about the ordering process with you. We're going to talk about we're going to show you the boxes and unbox the product. We're going to review the contents. We are going to build the product. We are going to use the product in the making of this video. And then finally, we're going to give you our impressions of the product and some pros and cons that maybe we feel is relevant to the buyer. So in transparency, Lectern Store has donated this product to the ministry, for which we are very thankful, but you're going to get a third or an independent review and a look at this product that you're not going to get anywhere else. So let's get started. All right, here we have 3 boxes, packaging that we received as part of our order. The ordering process, just very brief because we want to get into the product. That's the exciting part. It's what you'd expect of a modern e-commerce site. It was very clean, very elegant, their site, very simple to use, no problem there. Lectern Store was very responsive to questions that we had in the beginning when we were just looking and trying to understand their product before we'd ever even reached a decision to review the product. And so we'd expect that you guys would receive the same responsiveness and the answers to your questions. And they had a lot of different podium options, not just the Y55 that we were interested in. So what did we order? We ordered some of the modules. So we've got some options. We ordered, obviously, the Y55 Lectern in the church configuration. So it's got the natural wood finish, and then it also has an aluminum cross that attaches to the front of it. And then as part of our order, we had a logo. We wanted to take a look at adding our logo and see how it would look adding our logo to the front of it. So as part of our order process, we had that proofing process. And Lectern Store was very responsive and helpful in terms of responding to our concerns and questions about how certain options and configurations our logo might look on their product and what would be best. And so they helped us with that, and they were very helpful during that. So once we proofed it and decided on the logo that we wanted to go with, the order fulfillment and the shipment went very fast. Shipment was like 2 days, and it was here. So that's kind of what we experienced and what we expect that you would experience during the ordering process. So one other thing, you get the notifications, you know where your order's at through the process. And then we also received an email notification about a new owner's package. And basically what it did was it oriented us to what we were about to receive in the mail. So it's got an orange dot here. I know from that communication that this has got the instructions on how to build the product in it. And this one that's marked B over here, the second box, it's got the tools in there. Everything's clearly marked here also, so I can also see it from just looking at the box. And then the final box over there, which is marked box C, It's also marked options. I would expect to find my modules in there. So without further ado, this is what we've been waiting for. Let's tear open the packaging. Let's get the contents out and let's see what's inside. You can see the contents of the different packages that we received right here. This is the contents of box A, the contents of box B, and the contents of box C. So we're going to leave everything in the packaging to protect the pieces as we are assembling the unit. So let me give you an overview of what was inside. So in the contents of box A, we have some of the main panels, and I imagine one of these is the wood front panel, and some assembly instructions that were in here, as well as a user package. User package has some nice nifty information about some of the options and accessories and things that you can get into, and some other items, tips to the speaker, lectern etiquette, how to maintain your lectern, something about the designers, and then it looks like some of their other products and information. So that's what's in the user package. So this is for the user. And then there is the assembly instructions. And let me go ahead and show these to you here. These look pretty simple and straightforward. Instructions on how to build up the unit. And you can see some of these pages. And these boxes are clearly marked with the parts that are being referenced here in the diagrams. And you can see the buildup of the unit here. And so these are the instructions that we're going to execute. Okay. And these supplementary instructions are just for the plate, the top of the lectern, where the modules go. This is just pretty simple. It's like one page. And I'll let you take a look at that. All right. So, okay. So this was the contents of box B. As you can see, here's the hardware that we were expecting to find in box B. And it talks about the tools that are included with it. And you can see everything is packaged very neatly and labeled neatly. Some of the hardware, and then here's the tools. And so all those contents are very nicely packaged, nicely labeled. Everything's orderly and neat, which will help during the assembly process. So we're going to take advantage of the packaging in the build process when we're following the instructions. So this is really what was in B. It also has the shelf for the podium, and this has the base plate with wheels. This system came with we ordered with the wheels with the tilt system because we wanted it to be mobile, which was a great option for us. And then the plate itself, for the top, and then the contents over here were the contents of the box C. This has all of the modules in it. It also has the plate that attaches to the top of the podium for the logo, as well as the logo itself, which is in here. We'll just keep that protected until the right time. And then also we got some samples which were included to show us the different options for the front. You don't just have the natural wood option that we decided to go with for Nea Ekklesia. So this is the contents of the box: panels, base plate, the plate, all of the hardware that you need, the shelf unit. The assembly instructions look pretty straightforward. Everything is very clearly marked. All the sub packaging inside the boxes are also all clearly marked. From looking at the way that everything is packaged, my expectation is that the assembly process is really going to be a lot of pain is taken out of it for us with the type of packaging that was included here. So that's good. So let's go ahead and move forward with the build process. Okay, we just completed the assembly process and it was a dream. It was exactly like we had expected or anticipated when we saw the contents and the packaging as we conducted the unboxing. You can see in the diagram the clearly called out part numbers. You can see that the packaging was clearly marked. We left everything in the packaging. We followed the instructions and it built up like a dream. The only surprise, and I thought I was going to experience that frustration that everybody experiences when you're building furniture, you know, because one of the screws used a square tip, and even though the instructions called out and said I needed a screwdriver, I thought, oh, I may not have that, but I did. But that was it, and that's very small, and we had zero frustration. Even when it came to applying the logo, there was some very clear instructions and neat instructions on how to apply this that were very easy for us, and I'm not really good at that sort of thing. But you can see it attached very nicely. It looks very neat. And as we were building up the product, we were getting really excited because it looks great. It's striking. And the quality of it became apparent right away. And that's what we're about to show you. We're about to angle the product in different ways, make sure the lighting's good, and show you different elements about the design so that you can see the quality aspects about each of the elements of the design of this podium so that you know exactly what you're gonna get. All right, very quickly from this angle, we can see that the thickness of this top plate on the Lectern is 3/16 inch. This is very sturdy. This is going to hold up to wear and tear, so this is not cheap. We estimate that there's about $500 to $600 worth of just the metal, just if you ordered the sheets of metal, not fabrication, right? And of course, it's got also this hardware. That's not including this hardware, and these aren't cheap screws. These are nice. This is nice hardware. Let me show you. This is the finish that we have here. This is powder coat. This is baked on at 400 degrees. It should be sturdy and stand up to wear and tear and normal usage. It's not like it's just painted and it's going to chip and peel and come off easily. Here's another option. This is the charcoal option. I'm not sure if it's going to zoom there, but basically that's what it's telling us on the back of this is powder coated. Okay. All right. So one of the concerns also and interest that we had was, you know, how were the modules implemented? And we'll take a look at this from the other side also. You know, but everything is housed really well and sheathed and protected and away from the main metal structure. And then of course the cables are really well sheathed and protected. Everything feeds into the column here of the Lectern. This functions much like you know, a desk, right? How you would manage the cables for a desk. And so that's going in the front here. The only thin metal that we saw in here, and it's not flimsy, it's very strong, but you know, comparatively, everything else is pretty heavy duty, was this logo plate. You know, but that's just fine. It's not something that we expect to be load bearing or, you know, have heavy duty usage. And so we're pleased with that. So let's go ahead and, so here's some other options for the wood panel here. This is the whiskey, and this is the mahogany. And I believe I was told that this is made out of recycled wood products, and I believe the same is true for the metal construction as well. So let's go ahead and alter the viewing angle, and next we'll take a look at the back, and we'll see how we'll take a look at the cable management system in the rear. From this angle, you can see the cables feeding in through the rear. There's some plastic devices with adhesive and some zip ties that allow you to fasten these cables to the structure as you're feeding the cables through and setting the system up. Note that you will have to undo these two screws and tilt this downward to feed the cables through if you've already built the unit up completely. That's what we did. I'm going to angle the camera down a little further so that we can get a better and a further look. So the modules, we had two AC modules. One was electrical, one was USB. We lined that down this side. We had the microphone and the XLR cable coming down the left-hand side here. And that's kind of where you're left. These cables would just be, kind of coming out the bottom unless you do something with them like what we've done here. And so let me tell you about what I did. I just got some Velcro and attached it to the side, and I attached a power bar there, and I plugged these electrical outlets into the power bar. That makes this a little more self-contained and operate as a unit, because we're planning on using it mobile, which is why we got the tilt system. Let me lower this a little bit further so you can see the tilt system a little more. There at the base plate, this is an option. It typically comes with just the plate, but we got the tilt and roll system, and we'll take a little closer look at that here in a little bit. One of the things that I did want to point out about it, and I'm not sure how well you can see this on there, but this is a 1/4 inch thick. So the plate on the bottom is actually a 1/4 inch thick. It's thicker than these other panels, and the plate on top, and this portion here that you would put your foot on when you're leaning the system back, it's thicker. So the designers went heavier duty where you're where it's anticipated there's going to be heavier duty use and stress placed on the system. So back to the cable management, there was ample of these devices and these zip ties. I was able to go and pick up an additional bag and zip ties at Home Depot, because I wanted to further, just to overdo it and secure it, because I just want to build it one time and be done. And so this is all in there pretty good. And you can see it's plugged into the power bar very well. The XLR cables coming down, there was extra plastic shield around down here where I put the last tie on there. And here it is, it's ready for us to hook it up to the PA system, and it's ready to go. And what you don't see is I had a, oh, it's not used right now, but basically you don't want this to be dangling around when you're moving it. So I just put some additional Velcro in here, and this Velcro will hold about 5 pounds. And so now we're ready to move it, and we're not gonna have to worry about that cable dangling. And once you show up and you're ready to go, you just take that out, you're ready to plug that in, give yourself some power, and then also your XLR connection, you're ready to go. This thing is ready to use. Okay, so this is the left side of the Lectern, and exact same as the other side, except we can get a better peek at the modules here on this side. So we saw the XLR on the other side, and this housing here, this is the USB. I connected it on the far outside due to the way it connects in here, so that if it ever came disconnected, it'd be really easy for me to reconnect it. And then the electrical outlet I put next, and of course all that's secured and routed through here. But both of them have this thick plastic or polymer, housing that's protecting and keeping the electrical wires away from, the main structure. And of course, those wires are also well sheathed, and we've got them managed really nicely under here as well. So we really like how that turned out. And so when we get a view of the top, and we'll see the surface area, and we'll see the modules, and we'll be able to take a look and kind of examine it from that aspect as well. From this angle, we can see that we can see the surface of the Lectern. We can see that it has a full-size laptop on there. It is plugged into the AC outlet, on the top of the podium. It is charging. And then also the phone, it's charging. So this is a larger size handset or handheld, and you can see it's charging there in the AC outlet. So all of the charging ports are functioning properly. And you can see with a full-size laptop on there that there's quite a bit of space on the top of this podium. You can see there, pretty large. Okay, here from the top of the podium, we can see the USB charging station right here, the USB module. And it has 2 charging ports for USB there. And then right next to it, we can see that we have the electrical outlet. Both of these are made out of a strong polymer, and they're both very functional and are actually charging devices right now and working. And then we saw the underside also, so we saw not just how the housing on the top is of good quality and how it's attaching here to the lectern, but on the underside we saw a lot of that polymer housing that's protecting the electrical components and keeping it away from the structure, as well as the heavy-duty shielding of the wires that are there. And then of course there's other options that are available to you through the Lectern store for connectivity options like Ethernet and other options. We don't have those, but we've got this also this XLR connection. We got the combo, the mic kit. So this has got the Samson, this is the CM15P microphone here, and it's very functional and connects up really well to the XLR module. And we're gonna set this up and connect this to some audio equipment and give it a test, and then set this up like an event style so that you can see the size and get a sense of the overall proportions in relation to me. I'm about 5'11", so you'll be able to see that and kind of get a sense of that. And we'll test the audio too, and you'll at least be able to get a sense of the audio over the at least the video that you've been hearing so far. And then lastly, one of the things that we did get was a kind of a generic option here. So this is called a grommet, I think is what they called it, and it just has a circle there, so that you can feed whatever cables that you wanted to. If they don't have an option that you're interested in, you have something generic that you could fall back onto, and I think this was like a few bucks. Okay, we reached the product demonstration portion of the product review. In front of me, I have the Y55 Lectern from lecternstoreus.com. You can see the proportions of the lectern in relationship to the speaker, and that's the idea here, to really kind of get a sense of how this sets up and how functional it is in an event without actually holding an event. And so in the setup that we have today, we've got 3 microphones that are directly connected to a mixing board, and the mixing board is output to 2 locations. One location is the digital audio and video feed for the product demonstration that we're making, and then the other location is a JBL 615 speaker to my left here that is outputting over the airwaves in this room. And so we should have a similar quality of sound that we've had during the product demonstration so far. We may pick up additional signal from the sound that's carrying over the air. And so the microphones may be picking up those signals as well. So maybe there's going to be some more expansiveness to the sound that this product review is picking up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. The microphone that is active right now is the lavalier microphone that's attached to my chest here. And then we're going to go ahead and mute it, and then we're going to check out the Lectern microphone right now. Okay, test 1, 2, 3. So this is the microphone that's connected to the podium here. And then we can lean in and get a sense of, you can probably hear the richness of the microphone here. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. And so that's the microphone that came with this module here that we ordered. This was the microphone and XLR connection, our module combo. And we do sense a little bit of sound. I'm not sure if this is going to pick up in the digital feed. We can hear it a little bit over the speaker in the airwaves, and so it is picking up a little bit. Now the module does come with a rubberized attachment here. It's a shock absorber that's meant to pick up some of that shock and prevent it from carrying through to the microphone. But there is a little bit that does carry through, and that is just a consequence of having a microphone directly connected into the physical structure here. And so if you are interacting with the podium, or if you have speakers at the event, tend to have a habit of interacting with the podium pretty heavily, then that's something to keep in mind. But one of the great things about these modules and how modular these modules are is that because this is an XLR connection, we can remove this microphone here and we can connect, for example, this lavalier microphone. In fact, during the demonstration, we'll go ahead and do that and see how that works. Okay, so again, this is the quality of the microphone that came with the module that we ordered. And so you can tell it sounds very nice. And so it sounds really good in this room also. Very nice. All right, so we're gonna go ahead now and we're gonna switch. We're gonna mute this microphone here. We're gonna switch over to the Audio Technica 2035 just to give you a more rounded experience in this demonstration. Testing 1, 2, 3. And so now we're talking to the Audio Technica 2035. And so this is directly talking into the microphone. And so you can see how that compares to the microphone we were just using, the Lectern podium microphone. And this is me talking indirectly. This is me talking indirectly into this microphone. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and switch back again. So we're gonna be, and so now again, we are using the podium microphone. And so you can see that I'm not talking directly into the podium microphone. And so you can see how well it's picking me up. I'm speaking straight forward and the microphone is pointing at me, and I'm leaned back away as you would be during an event. And I'm looking the other direction now to the left, and you can get a sense of how much of the signal and how much of my voice this microphone is picking up. And then of course, if we lean in, you know, we're getting a much more rich sound as we begin to lean in. And so, but I'm limited in the demonstration here today to how hot I can make that mic because of the positioning of this JBL speaker in relation to the podium. So normally this would be a little further out, a little further forward, so that we're not creating any feedback during the event. But you can tell when I lean in really nice that we've got a great sound. And so, you know, I'd expect to get a really good sound, be pleased with us using this during a live event. So nice, very nice. So we're gonna switch back now from the podium microphone back to the lavalier. Test 1, 2, and so again, now we're talking from the lavalier microphone that's connected here. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and mute again, and I'm gonna switch these two connections. So I'm gonna remove this microphone, I'm gonna go directly into the podium, into the XLR connection with the lavalier microphone, and we'll get a sense of how that's working out for us. So here we go, we're gonna go mute. Okay, we're going to turn that down a little bit. It's up too hot. All right, for this microphone, test 1, 2, test 1, 2, test 1, 2, 3. Okay, so again, we're going now from the lavalier microphone directly to the podium, and it's connected to the XLR, and the mixing board has some patch cable going down to the connection underneath that we saw earlier in the product review. And so you can see we've got an additional connection option here. We can connect different microphones to this because it's an XLR connection. It's not one piece. We're not stuck with that. So that's really fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on mute, and I'm going to switch it back. Okay, test 1, 2. All right, so we're reconnected there. And I'm going to go ahead and connect this one back. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, and so another part of the demonstration is that we just wanted to see if the shelf could handle a drink and is actually functional that way, and kind of see how that felt. As we're all speaking, when you're speaking, you lose a lot of hydration, and there's a lot of humidity that comes out, so you may need to keep some water on hand during your event. All right, that's good. All right, and so that seems to be working out just fine there. And so, all right, so very functional. Okay, so that, I guess, concludes the demonstration portion of this product review. We're going to go ahead and go into some closing remarks next. Okay, we're nearing the close of our product review of the Y55 Lectern from LecternStoreUS.com. Again, we had some unique requirements. We wanted the unit to be mobile. We needed the unit to be lightweight. We needed the unit to have some flexible connectivity options. And of course, we had the competing requirement of quality. We didn't want to sacrifice any quality with our purchase. And so we were asking a lot as we were shopping around for a Lectern. And of course, I actively shopped for a Lectern. I felt the Y55 would meet the requirements, but I couldn't answer some of the quality questions that I had, as I was trying to make my way towards a purchase decision. And so quality is a big one. And so if you've been with us through the product review, we trusted that quality is coming actually, it's come out and it's been evident actually, from the order to the process fulfillment to the point that we were unpackaging the product. We could see that quality in the thought and the design of the packaging, how everything was clearly labeled and it integrated with the instructions where everything was clearly being called out. And of course, when we executed the build procedures, build up the unit, it was just a wonderful experience. No pain involved there. It went together easily, and the quality became apparent to us. And of course, the unit was striking and appealing. And when we got to show that to the viewers, hopefully that came out in the product review. And a little bit about the value here when it comes to the purchase. We estimate there's about $600 just in the sheet metal alone, not to mention the 2 weeks time fabricating the parts that are associated with this product. And that doesn't include the hardware, and it's not the cheap hardware, it's fancy hardware. And it doesn't include the wood panel and your options that you have there as well. And so just a really well thought out product. The design time in the product you're also benefiting from, and that's apparent in just the overall quality and how functional the product is. And hopefully during the live demonstration you got a sense of that. So very happy with the product and what we received from LecternStoreUS.com. We have no problem hopping behind them and recommending their product to others based on what we've experienced from the beginning to the end. And then also, for those of you that have been with us for this review, LecternStoreUS.com has also provided a coupon. If you're making a purchase of a Lectern with them, if you use the coupon, we'll put it up in the corner. They will provide to you free of charge a cover for your Lectern, which will protect it and keep it ready for the events that you're planning. So that's a nice bonus there. So we thank you for being with us. We thank you for watching the review. We bid you farewell for now. God bless you.